We want to say to you that you do not have to take some aspect of your life that is not going well. Like, let's say you have an illness and it's hard not to think about it because it has been diagnosed, it has been given a label, and there are physical symptoms in your body that bring you discomfort. And so not thinking about it is not the easiest thing. Thinking about it is easier. So Abraham says, but don't think about that. Instead, think about something else. And you say, well, it isn't easy to think about wellness when I'm ill. And we say to you, then don't try to think about wellness, think of something else. Why would we encourage that? Because when you think of the subject of your physical bodily conditions, when you're living something unwanted, that's the most dominant thought within that. And so when you bring up the subject of health, whatever is the dominant thought is activated, and then you don't have access to any other thoughts around that. You get a sense of what we are talking about? We want you to focus for just a little bit here on some key words, activated and dominant, because you have endless thoughts potential. Sometimes you feel like you are stuffed full of beliefs, and we say every thought that has ever been thought still exists. And you do have vibrational access to every thought that's ever been thought. But the likelihood of you thinking every thought that's ever been thought is not great, because you are not a vibrational match to every thought that's ever been thought. You are, in fact, not even a vibrational match to every thought that you've ever thought, or every experience that you've ever experienced. So let's say when you were quite young, you had a sort of unsettling experience that really got your attention and for a while seemed to dominate your thoughts. And for a while, because law of attraction is responding to your thoughts, you had quite a few experiences like that. But then, as time went on, you changed where you were living, or that mean bully friend moved away, or something happened in your experience and something else got more of your attention, and something else became a more dominant thought. So even though you lived that experience, and even though the potential for activating it is still within you, it doesn't get activated all that often. And then one day, you're just starting a new job and you meet someone, and wouldn't you know, for whatever reason, unbeknownst to you, those old feelings are starting to come up again, because something in this new relationship is reactivating a vibration that you hadn't thought about. So, what do you do about it? Do you let the fact that it is activated then begin to control your experience? Or do you use your guidance system to say, I'm feeling uncomfortable about something that's happening here. I think I will deliberately go to my pool of good feeling thoughts that I've been practicing and focus in some areas where I know I can control how I feel until this all blows over. Most of our physical friends are not aware that a variety of thoughts are being activated. Most of you only know what your reaction is. So, if you have a friend or acquaintance who, for whatever reason, is stimulating within you uncomfortable emotions a good deal of the time, or even infrequently, most of you would say, I need to separate myself from that person, or that person needs to be different than they are. And what we are saying is, we agree with you. Somebody should do something about that. But we would like you to know that you are the only person who can. Because when you say, I'm not feeling very good since I've been playing with you, you need to be different than you are so that I can feel better. If you give in to that even a little bit, you give up your power. Because you're saying, somebody else has the power to make me feel. Somebody else has the power of my point of attraction. And then it's no wonder you're mad at them. Because you want to feel good and don't, and it's their fault and they won't change. But when you discover that nobody needs to change at all in order for you to feel good, because you have this endless buffet of thoughts that you've been practicing, that activate within you life-giving, good feeling, source-giving, well-being, source energy responses, Then you move through life unafraid, not having to sequester yourself away from any possible interaction, not needing to control the attitudes or behaviors of those who live with you or those who might intertwine with you. Once and for all, being the happy being that you are by letting everybody else off the hook. And most of all, when you let everybody else off the hook, you let yourself off the hook, because then you give up your self-assigned role of controlling the universe, and a big weight lifts off your shoulders. When you begin to say things like, somebody should do something about it, and that somebody is me, and oh yeah, I can do that by choosing another thought. Before you know it, it is our promise to you, within 30 days of a little bit of daily exercise, you'll be there. You'll be at the place where you could be aware of something really terrible happening, and with a brief attention to it, you could say, well, I don't think I'm going to think about that right now, because in thinking about that, I'm activating something that's stirring up all kinds of things that causes me to attract stuff I don't want. I don't think I'm going to go there. Law of attraction is a wonderful thing, because it is responding to the vibration that is within you. And sometimes we know that you feel like you wish you could start over. You wish you could be rid of opinions and attitudes and points of frustration. You wish that you didn't have to have had that experience that now is affecting the way you feel. And we're wanting you to take delight in every experience that you've lived, because out of it has been born the new preference. And as you begin more and more to turn your attention to the new preference, then the things that you are specifically choosing will dominate the patterns that are unfolding in your experience, and you will proudly proclaim yourself the deliberate creator of your experience. It is a wonderful thing to gain creative control of your vibration. We like the ring of those words, do you? To gain creative control of my experience. How does one go about gaining creative control of one's experience? By directing thought, by choosing what you think about. More importantly, by choosing how you want to feel. Pretend that you are a director, a creative director of a movie project, and there is an audience that will be viewing your product. So you decide in advance how you want this audience to feel. If you want them to be frightened, you make a really scary setting. You make it dark. You might even make it dirty or uncomfortable. If you want your audience to feel lighthearted and laugh, you might make it in a bright, happy setting. You would set the place and the time of day, and you would adjust the lights to create the mood. And then you would parade your characters across the screen, and your characters would have definite personalities. And in their personalities, they would interplay with one another. And in their interplay, they would exchange words. And you would affect the response of your audience. In like manner, we're suggesting that you decide to gain dominant control of your vibrational offering by setting some scenes of your own. And we suggest really quick scene setting. About 30 seconds is really good, where you decide where it will be, choosing hopefully something that feels good to you. You decide what the time of day is so that you set the lighting and evoke the mood from yourself. You then identify how you feel, even putting words to it, maybe even remembering things like it. Then you decide who else is going to be there with you, and you give them their attitudes or moods, and then you exchange just a few brief words. And in doing so, you affect your vibration. We've called this creative visualization. We've called this using your imagination. We've called it a creative workshop. Today we are calling it virtual reality. We have noticed that most of you are vibrating in response to what is happening around you, but very few of you are deliberately conjuring images that cause you to offer a vibration. And in order to be the deliberate creator of your vibration, you have to be able to deliberately conjure some vibration. The reason that we are encouraging this process of virtual reality is because that's the way you make a dominant vibration dominant on purpose. virtual reality process is for one purpose only, and that is to practice a vibration and make it dominant. Everything that's happening in your life is because of whatever vibration is dominant. Wouldn't it be nice if you could make the vibration dominant on purpose? Wouldn't it be nice that instead of vibrating as you learned to vibrate from your mother when you were 4, and without knowing it, you've just continued to practice that so it still dominates your vibration today? So something that you picked up a long, long time ago that doesn't have anything to do with who you now are or what you now want is still controlling the way people respond to you and controlling things that come to you and controlling the way your body works and looks? Wouldn't it be nice if you could today make another decision about how you want to attract and make that vibration dominant? Don't you think it's worth a little bit of effort? We do. And so we're wanting to practice with you some virtual realities. And we want to remind you that the purpose of the virtual reality is one purpose only, to cause you to offer a vibration that is dominant on purpose. And here's what we mean by this. When you think about most subjects, you already have a dominant vibration relative to those subjects. When you think about the subject of dollars, abundance, money, do you feel more adventurous, exhilarated, excited, unlimited? Or do you feel more worried, concerned, frustrated, limited? You know. Sometimes you say, well, it's a little of both, and we say if it's a little of both, that's good, because you can choose which you want it to be. But most of you know easily, as we throw out those possibilities, where your dominant vibration about the subject of money is. Relationships. Does your dominant relationship feel like fresh air, joy, expansion, freedom, exhilaration? Or does it feel like hard work? I'm always in trouble. Struggle? You know. You can tell. When you think about your physical body, does it feel vital and alive and flexible and eager? Or do you feel about your body pensive, uncertain, insecure, not sure? You know. When you think about your physical appearance or weight, do you feel frisky and hearty and adorable and perfect? Or do you feel inadequate, flawed, needy, broken? Now, we've offered extremes here, we know. But the reason we are offering them is because we can feel hot buttons being pushed all over this room as we cause you to focus upon an aspect of your life and offer some scenarios. Your light boards are lighting up all over the place. You can practice virtual reality and cause different activations within you. In other words, we throw out a game like this, like feeling where you are relative to these aspects. And you can feel, but even more importantly, you see the manifestation of it. In other words, are you bickering all the time, or are you cooing all the time? Are you romping and feeling good, or are you feeling guilty when you eat? Are you enjoying the aspects of your life as they unfold relative to these subjects, or are you not enjoying the aspects of your life as they unfold relative to these subjects? You can tell by the way you've been feeling. And what we are suggesting to you here in the most powerful way that we could ever suggest it, because it is our absolute knowing, is that you have creative control of your life experience. You just have not been exercising it. It's why so many of you form relationships. They're good in the beginning, then they go sour, then you reach for another. They're good in the beginning, then they go sour. And it is because most of you are not doing anything about stabilizing your own dominant thoughts. You're just letting whatever floats across your television screen, so to speak, affect the way you feel. You've become audiences that have watched what's happening, audiences that have allowed others to make a decision how you will feel. Esther can tell when she hears the music. She'll say, oh, it's going to get scary. I don't want to watch it. Or, oh, it's turning to an unhappy place. I don't want to watch it. In other words, she wants to watch it when the music is happy, because the potential of something happy is more probable.